Casey here with CL Creative, where I'm teaching you web design and Webflow one video at a time. And today we're going to talk about HTML, specifically the heading elements. And really the thing to think about is, are you making a mistake in how you are utilizing these HTML heading elements? I've been able to come in and redesign or rework a number of projects that other developers have worked on, and I've noticed a number of bad practices. And so let's talk about the HTML heading elements as well as how we might properly style these inside of our Webflow project so that there's not an impact on our SEO and we are really utilizing just development best practices. So let's jump to the computer, check things out. And so one of the things I think that we need to do in order to get things right as designers who are coming over and working in development, and what I see a lot of people messing up on, and I have to go back in and correct in different sites that I have worked on, particularly sites where people have already done the development themselves. And sometimes I even see this in some of the component libraries that you get, where they will actually skip heading levels, or they will use this HTML element here to style the heading. And so if they want it to be smaller, then they may actually style it at, they may put it as an H4 when it should really be an H2 on that particular page. And so here's what happens whenever we go to add in a heading. Webflow defaults and makes this heading in H1. And so we have our Figma file, and we see in our Figma file, oh, this is actually an H3. And so then what we do is we click H3, and then we move down the page to the next section, or maybe even just right below that, and we see, oh, okay, this actually should be a little bit larger, so this is going to be an H2. And then again, we move down the page and we say, oh, well, this is actually going to be a really large heading, and so we maybe tag that as an H1. And then we throw another heading down the page in a different section. We're like, no, this should be an H5. And now here's what this has done. The main heading on the page is tagged as an H3. And then the next heading is an H2, and then the next one is an H1, which is really what the page should be all about. And then we've skipped all the way down to H5 because we want this element to be, or we want this heading to be smaller. And what we're doing when we do that is we're actually utilizing these HTML elements, these HTML heading elements to style the text when that's not what these things are meant to do. Right? We have section elements, and we utilize those to represent sections on our website. And we have heading elements to represent headings on our website. And so here you see we have that section element that I was talking about, which represents a section on the site. And then if you kind of go down a bit right here, you have this H2, which is going to represent the H2 HTML heading element on the site. And then you come down, you have another one right there, which is an H2. And we have another section here and another section here. We have paragraph elements. These are all HTML elements that are representing different parts of our code. And this is what is telling Google what parts of the page to pay attention to, what these are to really be representative of. And so what we should actually be doing whenever we're developing our projects is, if we want this text, which is a good example here, this is an H2, it's tagged as an H2, but I don't want this to be the size of the H2 text. And so you have these styles that you're using. The heading style H3. This is going to respect how HTML should be structured in its markup, as well as this is going to respect the design. And so differentiating between those two is what we have to do, especially people who are designers coming over to development, and Webflow is super powerful and allows that to take place. But if we really want to serve our clients well, if we want to help them do all the things that we say that they're going to be able to do, right? Increase their leads, increase their search engine rankings, their return on investment is going to be really high if they will go with us. We got to make sure that we get some of these very basic things right. And you would be surprised that some of the sites that I've been able to go into, do an SEO audit on, rework in how these sites have been laid out from an HTML perspective. Some of these are people who are beginners, but some of these are people who have been in the business for a very long period of time. And so we may just fall into this habit, and this is just how we do things. But we've got to make sure that we're understanding how HTML is structured and how classes work, and how we can allow those things to work together. Styling our HTML with classes rather than styling our HTML with these HTML semantic elements, the way that they should be named in our HTML markup. All right. Well, hopefully that was helpful, and hopefully you'll be able to style your projects correctly as well as lay them out correctly with the different HTML elements, particularly when it comes to headings. If you got some value out of this video, would you like, if you want more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. I'm putting out new videos each and every single week. I hope to see you on the next one.